It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
We got a great show for you folks today. It's going to be awesome. We got two great guests here. We got the GOAT himself, the greatest of all time, in my opinion, Ant-Man, Anthony Roar, Lions UK. What's going on, man?
You're right, Mike. I'm just savouring the atmosphere, which is a Lions playoff week. It's the first time in 7 years we're going to the playoffs, the first time in 30. Hell, I was a little kid, didn't even know about American football last time it was done at home. And, I'm just embracing this Detroit versus everybody moniker this week because, the entire country wants us to lose. So this Stafford narrative can be rubbed in our face. And I'm like, bring it on, bring on all comers. You will go prove you wrong.
We also got Dan, the fastest growing Lions channel right now on YouTube. This guy is growing great. He's making waves. People are getting upset with him. I'm happy to call him my apprentice. I feel like I've helped this guy out from the beginnings. What's going on, Dan?
Just another day in the week of Lions football and playoff football just ahead. So probably like everybody in Lions Nation, everybody's excited for Sunday night. See what's going to shake out.
That's awesome, man. So we got a great show. Everybody, welcome James Janella. Welcome Lisa DeLorenzo, SW Lions 16, all in there. First off, congratulations to Michigan before we get to this show, man. Michigan national champions. Quick thoughts on that, Ant-Man, and then Dan.
I mean, it was an ass-kicking, really. It was an ass-kicking that was a lot closer than it really should have been. The best team won. They've been the best team in college football all season. Like, nobody has been able to stand up to them, and they made a really good team look bang average, and it should have been done by halftime. But well done to them, first win in forever, and it gives hope for other teams that long championship droughts, long playoff droughts might be about to end. So it bodes well for us.
Dan, thoughts?
Hey, give them credit. I remember was it like 3-4 years ago, something like that? There was talk about firing Harbaugh. They made him take a pay cut, all this stuff. Program just wasn't going in the direction they had hoped. And now look where they are now. They decided to stick with Harbaugh. And you know what? Say what you want about him. Maybe he's unique. Maybe some people don't like him. But at the end of the day, his players seem to want to run through a wall for him. And that says a lot about him.
Absolutely, man. So shout out to Michigan, national champions for the first time since 97. That's awesome. But this is a Lions channel, so we're going to get into our beloved Detroit Lions. We got a game coming up, Ant-Man. It's kind of an important game. I don't know, this wild card playoff thing, hosting first time ever at Ford Field. Former quarterback Matthew broke your back for Stafford in this game. Ant-Man, when you look at the matchup, initial thoughts?
I'm not going to lie. It's the one I didn't want because of all the storylines revolving around it and because of what happens if you lose. But, I love our matchup against this team. They've been resting for a week. They're going to have the dust on them a little bit. We are battle hardened. We are ready to go. We are at home. I think that we're able to keep Kyron Williams quiet, and our run defense has been really good this year. Then that's when the Rams make a lot of mistakes. There's errors in there. It's a lot easier to contain them. So I believe that sort of the better aspects of our defense are able to nullify them enough to give us a chance in this. And the offense was looking a lot better after the weekend. I'm glad the starters played. I'm glad they got the time they did. They looked like they sorted a lot of their stuff out. I think we match well. I think we've got a lot of good receivers. They struggle against the pass. I think we're going to be able to run the ball on them fairly efficiently. And I don't think it's going to be close. I think we're going to absolutely pound them into the ground. I just feel like this team's ready.
Dan, initial thoughts, the return of Matthew Stafford, Rams game, the big game on Sunday.
I think, Mike, these offenses are incredibly similar. The one big advantage is that the Lions passing offense is number 6 in the league, while the Rams passing defense is number 31. Both teams are going to use, especially against zones, a lot of 12 personnel. So what that means is against zones, you're going to put 2 guys out wide, and they're going to have them run specific routes. Usually the outside one's going to run deep. Green Bay did this to us a lot. There are a couple of teams like Chicago that did this a lot. And then you have the inside person flank out. So that's all I think the struggle is going to be for both teams, containing somewhat the other team's offense. I think the Lions are getting a little bit healthier. Aaron Glenn's being a little bit more aggressive. I think he's developed a little bit as a defensive coordinator. And it's really, in my opinion, going to come down to both teams putting heat on either Goff or Stafford. You can rattle them, get them maybe a turnover or 2. That's probably going to be the difference in this game.
Just got breaking news. Mike Vrabel was just fired by the Tennessee Titans, and I fully expect him to be the next Patriots head coach. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Mike Vrabel, I think he's a great coach. I think he is. That was a dumb decision by Tennessee. They don't have a quarterback over there. Well, I guess they do. They drafted one, but I think he's a phenomenal coach. But anyways, back to our Detroit Lions. You know what? I've been hearing everybody that Stafford's going to kill us. He's going to smoke us. He's going to put up 400 yards on us. So what? Guess what? Nick Mullins put 400 yards on us twice, basically. Mm-hmm. So has every quarterback basically has thrown on the Detroit Lions defense. The thing is, this is what I think our defensive coordinator's going on right here. This is bend but interception defense. We're going to get hit in the air, but you're not going to run on us. It's going to force you to throw the football. And we have Kirby Joseph, Afutu Melifonwu, Brian Branch, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson sitting in the secondary. They expect, and I think Aaron Glenn expects, them to make some plays in games. And that's what we're doing here. Look, the Vikings put 400 on us. We won twice because we got turnovers. I think that is the thing here. So it doesn't matter if Stafford puts 400 on us or another quarterback puts 400 on us. The difference between Stafford and, say, a Jordan Love or a mobile quarterback is Stafford's going to stand in the pocket, and that's what he's going to do. He's not going to extend the play. He's not going to roll around for 10 minutes trying to get an open receiver. Now, he's a little bit mobile. He can get out of the pocket, but he's not Justin Fields. He's not Lamar Jackson, not a Jordan Love type quarterback. And I think our defense fits extremely well against that type of offense. And like you were saying, Ant-Man and Dan here, I think the Lions offense is going to put up points. That's what they're going to do. So they're going to have to keep up with us and making them one-dimensional, which I am 100% convinced they'll do because that's what we do. It's going to be difficult, Ant-Man, for Matthew Stafford in this offense to keep up with us, to be one-dimensional the whole time.
Exactly. And as I say, a lot of their offense has revolved this season around Kyron Williams' ability to run the ball. And we, week in, week out, have played really good run defense. And, you're able to take that away and then you limit the options of their team. And the great thing that this team's been doing, especially in recent weeks, the defensive line has come to life, not just stopping the run, but getting towards the passer, no more so than these last 2 weeks. Hutch is on an absolute tear at this moment in time. But now Aleem's back. You're seeing Pascal waking up. You're seeing Romeo waking up. The 2 picks on Sunday were because of pressure on the quarterback. They weren't good picks by the secondary. That was Mullins throwing the ball away because he had 5 guys crowding him. Like, if you're able to do that with Staff, you will get similar opportunities with him as well. So if you can take his run game away and you can get the similar sort of pressure in there, yeah, they're going to hit us with deep balls. I've just accepted that about this team now. But if you're getting turnovers, a lot of it's empty yardage. Yep. Like, it's turnovers, you negate all that yardage that you give away. And I think, the Rams' offensive line is okay, but I think you can certainly overpower it. Now you've got depth on the D-line to just keep rotating guys in and out. They're blitzing more. You're seeing Campbell blitz. You're bringing the guys in. You're really bringing the heat. That's our strength. Just overwhelm them and then go to work. And I think that's what you've got to do. You've just got to be aggressive, especially against Staff. You can't let him sit back there and pick you off. Just go after him. Make him make errors. I do think we match up really well against them. Let's say stop the run, then go and hunt him. And we should have this.
I have no doubt they'll put up 400 yards passing, but I don't care about this. I care about wins. I don't care about stats. And the defense right now is bend but interception. And I like that. I love getting turnovers. Turnovers win you game. Thoughts on the matchup there, Dan?
So I think Ant-Man and yourself are wise beyond your years. So here's what I'm going to say. You think about the start of the year when this defense played mostly bend but don't break. Quarterbacks just weren't getting hit. They were clean in the pocket. There was no stress or duress on them. But in the last 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it's been, we are still giving up the yards. Dak Prescott, whoever, but we're getting hits. And those you can see over the course of the game are accumulating on the quarterbacks. It also, as you guys are alluding to, leading to interceptions, bust down in communication from the offensive line. Now compile that and apply that to this weekend's game. You're going to have the Rams probably get some scores on some drives, but you're going to also have a lot of dry drives where they're going to move the ball, and then end result is going to be a turnover. Where before, you're just letting people go up and down the field. Also, as loud as it's going to be in Ford Field, watch the offensive line throughout the game. Probably on a lot of different blitzes, especially when they start mixing them up. You're going to see miscommunications, which are going to lead to free shots on Stafford or false starts.
And look, man, Stafford, he gets like when you start hitting him, he's going to start to make the mistakes. It's just like any quarterback, just like Jared Goff. Someone asked there, who is a better 40 time, Goff or Stafford? Stafford has a better 40. He's better runner of the football for a quarterback position, but he's not a run first quarterback at all. He'll extend the play sometimes, right? If he feels like blitz, but that's okay. That's fine. He's not going to kill you with his legs. He's not going to go out there and put 100 yards rushing. And that's what I like about how this is set up right now. Is I didn't want to face the Rams, not because of the matchup. I didn't want it because simple with the same with Ant-Man here. First off, what the media is going to be saying. You know what it means if we did lose this game and a Stafford comeback at the very end. We know that he can do that. But in all honesty, this is the best matchup I feel like for the Detroit Lions. I would rather face the Rams than right now the Packers. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I would rather face the Rams, even though I think Philadelphia, we can beat Philadelphia still. Jalen Hurts can be a little bit mobile right now. I think the Lions still would beat Philadelphia because they're playing in a bad rut, but I like the stand in the pocket quarterbacks for this defense. If you look at the games that we've lost, Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Packers, Jordan Love, Bears, Justin Fields. Yeah, we lost to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's a little bit mobile, but not much at all. Close games again with the Bears. We've had issues with the mobile quarterbacks, but we do well against quarterbacks that stand in the pocket, man.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And you say it just works well for us. And the other good thing about playing the Rams, not the Packers, is we're going to have a completely partisan crowd because the Rams don't travel. They're going to be all Lions fans here. If you get the Packers in, you may get a lot of them in the building. But Dan made a really good point that the crowd's going to be a big factor in this because, the Vikings are a very disciplined team. Don't give them away many penalties. How many penalties did they give away the other day? You saw they got the false start because Garrett Bradbury couldn't hear Nick Mullins clapping. He was there just... Yeah. And he couldn't hear him because the noise was that loud, and it just kept leading to all these breakdowns in communications. I think you can get the same again with these guys because there's not going to be that many of their fans in there. So it's just on their drives, it's going to be absolute indefinite, and for us, it's going to be quiet as anything. I think it'll have a really big impact on here. But yeah, the guys who stand and deliver are the ones who we can get after, especially if we continue this blitzing. Because we've seen with Stafford here for years, his problem in the pocket is taking a lot of sacks in there because he's unable to get out of that pressure because, it's a little too late. He doesn't have the mobility to do so. And we've seen in the last few weeks that we've been able to go and corner guys even guys with mobility. So he's very wily. He's a veteran, but I think the opportunities are going to be there. And the defense, they're executing really well at the minute when it comes to all these blitzes and to the pressure. So, yeah, I think the quarterback matches up really well for us.
And we don't know how the playoffs are going to go. I do think the Lions are going to win this game, by the way. So if the Lions win, who do they face after that? It could be Dak Prescott. Could be a rematch with Dallas. That's what I want. I want a revenge game so bad. At Dallas, though, does scare me because the referees, but I can't stand the Cowboys after that. Or if the Packers win, Packers will be coming to Detroit. You could have 2 home games. And that's crazy, Dan. It's crazy.
I think it's something that could actually happen. I'm with you, Mike, in that in regards to who would I rather have chosen to play, Rams or Packers. Packers are a less ideal matchup to me at this point, just because
Yeah.
the ability they have to rush the quarterback, especially up the middle. They can put a lot of pressure on Frank Ragnow or the guards to split the gaps between them and get to the quarterback. The Rams don't have that nearly as much. They don't really have an edge rusher or two that can, consistently cause pressure. They also have a very young secondary. So I do think that we're going to win. I'm going to call for a 10-point win, and it'll probably be something like, 38-28 Detroit.
Yes, Vinicius, you said 10-point win. I have 33-30 Lions winning, but them getting a touchdown, the Rams getting a touchdown with like a minute left. So it's kind of like a pointless touchdown. So I feel the same thing, Dan. What about you, Ant-Man, when you look at this?
Like I said earlier, I think I'm with Dan. I think it's going to be a multi-score victory for us. And the reason why I think this is our statement game. Everybody sort of moans and whines that we've not won a big one, and we don't have that sort of statement in there. This, given the storylines that are in this, given that it's the full circle back to the Stafford trade, back to Holmes's first major decision here with us, everything's come full circle to this. I think this is where you sort of go out and you send a message like, yeah, they got a Super Bowl out of this trade. They did well with it, but for us, we're the boss now. Like, we're the good team. We're the one that's built up for sustainable long-term success. We're at home. We've got the crowd behind us. I think that we're really going to pile it in on them. We will be relentless, and I think eventually they're going to break, and that we're not going to take the foot off the pedal, because that's just the sort of team we are. We've played in week 18. We're buzzed. We're ready. Our form players are bang right in form right now. And I don't see anything stopping them. They're hungry, and they're going to do this. So I think it's going to be 10, 14 points that we're going to win by.
Hashtag one pride. Now, this is a crazy comment. Your longtime listener, haven't had a hamburger since the Lions lost to Philly in 95. Waiting for a playoff victory, 28 years. Coming back to the D for the game. Man, you haven't had a hamburger in 28 years? My guy, I really hope they win so you can eat a hamburger. And that is dedication right there. Holy smokes, I love me some burgers. The Nature Boy, to be the man, you got to beat the man 100%. So Packers are the 7th seed. What if they go to San Francisco and they beat them, right? So I'm not saying it's going to happen right after. We don't even know exactly what's going to happen in the games. We don't know if Philly wins or Tampa Bay wins. Tampa Bay could actually beat Philadelphia. That's how poor they've been playing. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. Yes, F Dallas. A lot of people are not fond of Dallas.
If the Bucs could beat the Eagles, we could get the Bucs at home.
Yeah, we already beat them. Yeah, 100%. There you go. Bucs and Lions. I'll definitely take the Lions in that one for sure. I mean, I just feel like this is a good matchup for the playoffs. I'm pretty excited about it, and I think it's fantastic. And I think the Lions offense is going to take advantage. When you look at the Rams defense, 8th in points, that's the Rams offense. Their defense, 19th in points per game, 20th in total yards per game. Passing yards, they're only putting up 231.1 a game. Rushing, and that's 20th on this stat. There are other ones you can look at the bottom tier. Rushing yards, 12th in the NFL. Their defense is going to get beat up, I think, by the Detroit Lions, Dan, man.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I know they like to play mostly zone coverage. They do mix in some man. The problem with a lot of their corners, from what I can see on tape, is they bite on the first step a lot. So receiver comes out of the break, gives a quick dip in and then kicks out. You're able to take somebody up the field a lot. So I'm guessing McVay is going to have Detroit try to go on some longer, sustainable drives, try to keep everything in front and slow the Lions offense down, get them in the red zone, and try to cause some issues. But with all that being said, I think Detroit's set up to get this game, and I do think LaPorta will be back this weekend.
You think that LaPorta is going to be back?
I do. Yep.
Holy God.
So I think everybody knows about his knee injury at this point and the flexing of it, so the hyperextension. I'm being told that he agreed to allow his knee to be drained starting with whatever it was, Monday. So what that means, they are literally putting in a tube, I guess you'd say, into his knee and draining the blood from between both bones that has accumulated from the bone bruise. It's going to be a deep, dark, almost black type of blood as it crusts and helps with the healing process. But why you do that, especially every day to get more of it out, is allow the healing process to expedite, be faster. So I think there is a real good opportunity. He'll be back.
And even if LaPorta's not back, I think the Lions offense is perfectly fine. Folks, we didn't have LaPorta last year. Lions offense is fine. We've missed LaPorta in a game. I think he missed a game or two this year. We were fine. Even Khalif Raymond, yeah, he went down and it sucks. We love Khalif Raymond. We'll be fine. You get Jameson Williams coming back. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been stepping up in a significant way. No one's talking about it, but he's taking a nice little role for the Lions offense. But man, if Sam LaPorta came back, man, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. It just adds to the plethora of weapons we've got already. But that's the great thing about our offense. Even if he doesn't, like on Sunday, we didn't really see that much of Jahmyr Gibbs outside of his touchdown run, but that's fine because Amon-Ra had a 150-yard day. And like on another day, Jahmyr Gibbs will get 150 yards and Amon-Ra will have a quiet day. We've got that many guys. We've got that many central playmakers that we can avoid the loss of these guys. If one goes down, another steps up. J-Mo's back this week, which we didn't have this weekend going. So, and I trust the other tight ends as well. Mitchell made some nice plays the other day. The block, he had terrific block on Gibbs's touchdown. He had the real good catch on 2nd and 13. He's just not had an opportunity because LaPorta's been so damn good. So I trust the guys in our system to be able to come up and be able to fill in adequately for him. So I say we still got plenty of weapons. Both the running backs are healthy. Our top wideouts are healthy. Our offensive line is healthy. We've got everything we need. The quarterback is healthy. We've got everything we need to go into this game and still put up points even without him. So, hopefully, I hope he does play. And even if it's on a snap count, you can bring him in. You've got to respect him and you've got to do that. And then he'll be fit, hopefully, for the divisional game. But I just like the way our offense is built. We can cope with that sort of loss. If this was like Kupp or Nakua for the Rams, that's huge. They can't replace those guys because they've got no depth there. And that's the thing with this Rams team. It's got some superstars in there, some really good players, but their depth is non-existent. You get through those guys, you beat them up, give them a little bit to think about, and they've got nothing afterwards. Our team does. So if he's back, great. If not, we've got Monty, Gibbs, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Reynolds. Pick your poison.
When we got Donovan, we traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I said it's a really good trade. I liked it. And then everyone's like, where was he at the first couple games? Just like every wide receiver that we get, whether it's DJ Chark, Jameson Williams, it takes a little bit of time for these guys to heat up in this offense in Jared Goff, but he has been last 2 weeks. Last game, 2 for 25 yards. Donovan Peoples-Jones, big one on 3rd down as well. He's starting to heat up, and that's just a depth play. We're talking about depth. We're not even talking about starters. The Lions are really good at the wide receiver and the wideouts in this offense. And everyone's talking about, Sam LaPorta is out. That's a big deal. No, the biggest deal to me is this offensive line's healthy. Yeah. That is it. Like, I would take Sam LaPorta being out over Frank Ragnow being out, over Jonah Jackson being out, because we've noticed with this offensive line, when it's not healthy, we struggle. When it's healthy, we don't struggle, Dan. We don't. This offense rolls with a healthy offensive line.
Yeah, and what I'm anticipating is, let's just say that LaPorta is out. I do think you're going to see a lot of 23 personnel, so that means 2 running backs in the backfield, 3 receivers. You're probably splitting 2 out, 1 to one side. Maybe you'll use a tight end occasionally, but again, because the Rams play so much zone, you're going to put a lot of stress and pressure on their linebackers who aren't great in coverage to cover the flats in the middle of the field. I think Ben Johnson's going to be able to pick them apart pretty soundly.
Yeah, and yet you could do Jameson Williams in kick returns. If Khalif can't go, you could do Donovan Peoples-Jones, Craig Reynolds. There's players you can do it. And I love Khalif Raymond. I think he's awesome. I'm a huge Raymond fan. But he's not the number 1 wide receiver. He's not St. Brown, okay? Like, you lose St. Brown, okay, now we're talking. That's a big one, right? You lose the offensive line at Penei Sewell or Taylor Decker. Okay, that's a big one. Jared Goff, that's a big one. I feel like you could do well with the rest. Like, I feel we can run the football. We could protect Jared Goff. You give Jared Goff any time, he's going to throw it to everybody. He doesn't just throw it to one person. He's not a Stafford type of guy where he picks one guy and that's all he goes to. St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, Sam LaPorta, Donovan Peoples-Jones, James Mitchell, Dan Skipper, and Jameer Gibbs. That was the receivers he threw to last game. Freaking Dan Skipper. All right, he's going to throw it to everybody. And by the way, the Detroit Lions YouTube channel did a highlight reel of Dan Skipper. That was so awesome, man. I got to love their media. They love to mess around, man. That was funny.
Dan's getting a touchdown in the playoffs. Like that, at some point, Dan's getting a touchdown in the playoffs.
Got to give Skip a touch. Boy, he's a big boy, too. When he caught that, imagine someone trying to tackle his 6'9",
180-pound DB.
He's like a freaking he's a freaking lumberjack out there, man. I'd love to see a nice little screenplay with Dan Skipper. Just bulldoze somebody, just knock him down, and just keep going. But that was glorious. Huge shout out to the Lions YouTube channel and their media doing that. Oh, Dan Skipper's a fan favorite. Everybody loves Dan. I tell you what made me love Dan Skipper was watching Hard Knocks, him tearing up because he didn't make the 53-man roster. That showed this guy, man, is a big teddy bear. And then when he had a great game, I don't know if it was year 1 or year 2, they're like, skip in the post game, and you could see he was nearly tearing up. Everybody loves Dan Skipper. He is fan favorite. I asked Chrissy and Herman to get Dan Skipper on here on Lions Nation Unite. I want to interview Dan Skipper. He's my number one guy I want to talk to. Guy's just awesome. Decker did report. Yes, he did. Folks, if you got questions, do hashtag Lions, do hashtag something, and we'll get to your question. What is the word on Raymond? Same thing with LaPorta. Outside chance to play on Sunday. Dan, you got anything new on that?
No, my guess from what I've heard, he's going to be out probably to the NFC Championship game if he returns.
Okay, so he's going to be out for a bit. That's what he's saying there. And we love Raymond, but the Lions offense can continue without Raymond. And that's why we traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Right. After Marvin Jones Jr. left, I said it's a good trade. You got to have depth there. And look, the depth's paying off right now, right? You lose a Khalif Raymond. You bring in a guy, Donovan Peoples-Jones, to help it out. Let's see here. RIP Rams, you're losing on Sunday. I do think so. We'll do score predictions right now while you just did that. Keep putting questions in there. I'm going to go 33-30. Detroit Lions win. But again, they get it. Rams score a touchdown with the last minute to make it look closer than what it is. What do you, Ant-Man? And then go ahead and go my guy, Dan.
I'd say 38-24.
Oh, I like it.
Nice. What about you, Dan the man?
I'll go 38-28.
I like it. I like that. I like them both. I hope you're both right, man. That'd be great. Will Donovan Peoples-Jones return punts if Raymond is out? I think he returned punts for the Browns. Yes, he did. It's possible. That's what Dan Campbell said. It's possible they could do it. J-Mo could potentially do it. And Craig Reynolds, we don't know if it actually happens. But, yes, he can do it for sure. Who is the backup tackle? That's Dan Skipper. He is the backup tackle right now. Matt Nelson's still in the IR things unless something changes there. I haven't got any word on that yet. Let's see here. Will we see more CD Deuce this game? His name isn't changed on his jersey, so I'm still going to call him CJ Gardner-Johnson. But, yes, you're going to see more of him. You're going to see more of him. He was out there. They're getting it done. They'll figure it out with who they're going to. Didn't say anything. I know. That's the best.
He played like 80% of the snaps, didn't he, CJ? He was out. He played most of them last game.
Yeah. I fully expect them to figure it out, to have all these guys on the field at the same time. Because, look, CJ, he can play slot corner. And so can Brian Branch. Brian Branch can play slot, safety, and linebacker. So they'll figure it out if he's got to be out there. It's a great problem to have, Dan. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Lions last weekend's game against Minnesota, check out the second half. They changed a lot of their secondary formations and assignments, and that's also why you saw some communication breakdowns between them. First half, they were pretty vanilla or consistent with what they've done the last month. But after that, you could see they were starting to work in some things where they did move Gardner Johnson to the slot. They moved Branch out wide on a couple of snaps. They were purposefully moving some people around to get reps and get film on it so they could address it this week going into the Rams. I'm going to anticipate Aaron Glenn's got some ideas on how they're going to use this to not only stop the Rams running game, but they do like to use a lot of quick routes to get pressure off the offensive line and keep Stafford upright. There'll be opportunities for those Detroit DBs to jump some routes if they want, and that is one of the pluses of both Brian Branch and Gardner Johnson.
Think they'll sign Zach Ertz? Absolutely not. Brock Wright is probably going to return in this game, in all honesty. And I like Brock Wright. James Mitchell and Sam LaPorta, that's a great trio of tight ends, that man. I think people forget Brock Wright, what he did last year, and he's a hell of a blocker.
Yeah, and people also forget you've got to earn your way into this team. Like, you're not going to walk in today and then be playing 5 days later over guys who have spent the year grafting away. Both Mitchell and Wright have grafted very hard for their reps behind there. Mitchell is the next guy up. He's earned his spot. That's how Dan runs his team. You don't just bring guys in and start playing them instantly. So, no, I would not expect it. And to be honest, I wouldn't want it.
Same.
Because he's been sat on his ass doing nothing. He wants to go to a Super Bowl caliber team, fine. But that's not the attitude that gets you in this team, that I'm going to sit and wait, see who's good, and then go to them. That's not how we do business. So I don't want him here. Have James Mitchell do it. Have Brock Wright do it. They're the guys who've earned it, and they're both good enough to be in this team and contribute to it.
Yep, and Brock Wright's returning for the game on Sunday. So you got Brock Wright, you got James Mitchell, and you got a dinged-up Sam LaPorta, but hey, I got to get ready for coaching. We'll have fun. Appreciate you coming on here, Dan the Man. Tell the folks where they can find you.
Come on over every day of the week, 7 through 8 a.m. to Lions Talk Live. Join the Do crew. Join in on the conversations about all things Lions and have a little bit of fun.
Peace out, Dan. Thanks for coming in for a little bit.
See you guys.
James Janela, that one play cost us the number 2 seed, possibly the number 1 seed, a franchise record of 13 wins and a second home playoff game this year. That's one play costs us a lot, yes. And that's why if you're Dallas, you best pray we lose this game this weekend. But best believe if Dallas wins and the Lions wins, we're coming for blood. I already know, but they ain't taking no chances if the Lions got to go to Dallas. Good luck on that revenge game if that occurs, Ant-Man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for as much as it cost us, I think it's given us all the bulletin board material we need. They were pissed. The team were pissed. And that translated into the performance the other day. I think they came out hot. That first quarter, we absolutely battered the living daylights out of the Vikings, and they didn't know how to handle us. Same in the second half, we came out and we really put a kick into them. So it's all the motivation they need that game was. And the great thing is they are mentally strong enough to not be bothered by it. Some teams, that would have bothered them. For us, no, it's just you've disrespected us even more. You're just poking the bear at this point and making it more angry. And, you're the one who's going to suffer in the end. And I think that's what we're going to get this weekend. I think, everyone's going to write them off. Everyone's going to say, all the worst is going to happen. And they're just going to be like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Keep on talking trash about us because we're going to keep on proving you wrong. That's all they've done. I do.
I love it. I like being the underdog. I love it.
Do it right. The siege mentality. It's what Michigan have used all year, to be honest, haven't it? It's the siege mentality. Everyone has been in on them, and they as a team stuck together and just blocked it out, played for one another, played very hard. The teams have a striking resemblance to how they play for one another and how hard they play and how they're built to play. So, hopefully we can follow that formula ourselves. But, yeah, it's happened. It's gone. I don't care. We're in the playoffs. We control our destiny. We're at home. It's in our hands. That is all that matters, that it's in our hands.
Steve Likens, whom do you guys have the top 2 AFC playoff teams? I know Lamar hasn't won, but I still have the Ravens and Bills top 2 coming out of AFC. I got the Ravens and the Browns. I think the Browns are a really good team right now. Their defense is number 1 ranked defense. All Joe Flacco's got to do is distribute that football, and they win games. What about you, Ant-Man?
My 2 favorite teams are the Browns and the Texans. I'm good there at playing one another. I'm rooting for those both very hard. But I think the Bills are red hot and in form at the moment. I still don't think they're legitimate. I still think Ireland turns it over too much. It's the Ravens and it's the I would say the Ravens and the Browns for me, because what they've done with the injuries they've had is impressive. And again, they're like us. Everyone's written them off, and I think they'll be very dangerous. So the
Very
Ravens and the
dangerous.
Browns, yeah.
Their defense is the best. You look, when you got a defense like that, it travels. It's gonna. I think you can see a situation. AFC title is for Browns versus Ravens. I just take the Ravens right there. They're just really good right now. But what do you got?
I mean, you got the Vikings, like, who've been bitching. Oh, if we had Kirk, we'd have beaten you and we'd have won the NFC North. Well, the Browns, they're on their fourth string quarterback. They're going to the playoffs and they're winning games. They literally took a guy off his couch and they've put him in and they are winning games. So that's no excuse for you being bad. Like, that shows the legitimacy of what he's done. There's been so many great coaching jobs done this year. Like, he's one.
He's
You
one.
know,
Yep.
D'Amico Ryans is the other. Campbell has done a tremendous job as well. You know, there's some really promising coaches coming through there. But in the AFC teams, I like the lesser fancy guys. You know, again, I think the Bills are a bit overrated. The Chiefs just are not the Chiefs this year. Like, give me the Browns, give me the Texans, give me someone like that who are going to be the upstarts who are going to cause a lot of upsets there.
I'd love to see Browns Lions Super Bowl. I think that'd be glorious, man. And because it's never happened, right? Both the teams never been there. That would be glorious. And you got Jim Schwartz fighting against the Detroit Lions. Like, that would be fun. I don't have no hate for Jim Schwartz. A lot of people may not like him. I actually have zero hate. I hope he gets a head coaching job after this year. He's not Matt Patricia, in my opinion. He's not a guy where you just absolutely test him. Jim Schwartz, I think, is actually still a good coach. I mean, he took 0-16 and made them a playoff winner. Yeah, the handshake gate went kind of sour, but I still that would be a fun Super Bowl if you ask me, man.
Oh, absolutely. You know, two teams who've been generally ridiculed the longest, been associated with failure and not been very good, getting the chance at the big one. I mean, the odds are slim, but again, the most dangerous teams are the ones who are underappreciated and who have nothing to lose. Us as a Lions base, I think maybe in this one we do, but we get past this into the divisional round. We have nothing to lose. We have nothing to prove. We are dangerous, and we've got the playmakers to go on a run and do it. Just like the Browns have the defense to go on a run and do it. Like, they can keep teams to 10, 15 points in a game, and then it just requires Flacco, a couple of good drives, you know, put a few points on the board, and they can upset anybody. And again, just the AFC is such a wild place. It's a lot of inconsistency. Like, a lot of good teams, but we're just wildly inconsistent. Who can be beaten on the day? Like, so it's going to be really interesting. But I don't know if it's coming from the AFC or the NFC, but I fancy someone's going to be in the Super Bowl who nobody's calling right now, like us, or the Texans, or the Browns. You know, I think that's going to be a case this year. An underdog's going to do well.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta pull this up because everyone talking about how Matthew Stafford's Pro Bowler, he's elite. You want to know who's number 2 right now in yards? Jared Goff, 4,575. Quarterback rating. You want to know who is above Matthew Stafford? Jared Goff, a quarterback rating of 97.9. Touchdowns. You want to know who's above Matthew Stafford's number 4? Jared Goff with 30. Interceptions, Matthew Stafford's got 11. Jared Goff's got 12. Let's show some love to Jared Goff, too. You know what I'm saying? He was a Pro Bowl snub. And so people say, oh, he's going to get, he's not going to do good. Folks, Jared Goff's been great. He's been great. So yeah, he can win he's going against a bad defense. Okay. He's going to go against a bad defense. Not an opportunity. They're not like they're winning the turnover battle. They're not good in turnovers. They're worse than the line. Lines are 0. They're -2. Okay, so Lions got a legit shot there, yeah.
See, this is Goff's game, really, isn't it? Like, everybody's talking about Stafford and
Stafford. It's Goff.
Stafford's won a Super Bowl. Like,
he asked to be traded.
Yeah, he asked to be traded. We gave him a trade to where he wanted to go. He went and won a Super Bowl. Goff was chucked on the scrap heap. Goff was chucked under the bus and left for dead. All the Rams' failures were blamed on him and him only, whilst ownership got away scot-free with it. And he was just discarded like he was yesterday's news. And he's come here, and against all the odds and against a lot of backlash from the fans, he's made something of himself. And this is the ultimate riposte for him to now be able to say, well, look, I'm on a team that's better than you. And quite clearly, it wasn't just me that was the issue over there. It's going to be a lot of payback for him. And I want them to win this game for him more than anybody else. More than anybody else. Like, when he came here, and you could just see he was a broken person. He was broken. And now this is where he can become whole. There's a whole circle.
When he first came here, he felt like it looked like he'd been beat up by Mike Tyson. He was defeated. His confidence was garbage. I mean, look at this. Dude was traded from a Super Bowl team to the worst team in the NFL with 2 first-round picks involved in it. He heard what the media said about him, that he's washed up. He's terrible. He's just going to – and he's resurrected his career. He looks like a great quarterback. He's doing outstanding. And now he gets to go against Sean McVay, the guy who sent him away, the guy that destroyed him. And just like Jared Goff said about his wife, he needs to lay the pipe down in this game as well. All right, this is Jared Goff's game here. I want so bad for Goff to win this game. You know, all the trash they've talked about this guy has been immense. It is Jared Goff revenge game, not Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford gets no revenge. We did exactly what he wanted. Traded him to a Super Bowl contender, the team he wanted to go to. He got a Super Bowl. He got all the love. He got all the commercials with Little Caesars. He got it.
Yeah, he got the Detroit Rams movement out of it. Yep. Like, he got his own movement. He's that well beloved. But let's say the time for Matthew Stafford appreciation now from us is when he retires. Like, that is when, you know, we can go back over it or relive it all again. That's the time. Not now. Goff's our guy, and we should all be rooting for Jared Goff to succeed in this one. I think it'll mean.
If you're imagine what Matthew Stafford, shame on you if you consider yourself a Lions fan. The first Lions playoff game at home at Ford Field ever, first one in 30 years. You best be booing Stafford, man. Like.
But I mean, can you imagine what it'll do for Goff's confidence if he wins? He's going to be the most confident quarterback in the entire NFL. Like, whoever comes to Ford Field or wherever we go next week, whether it be at home or away, like, his confidence is going to be absolutely through the roof. That'll be like every mental barrier he's got at this moment in time will be broken down by a win here. Like, he will have proved them wrong ultimately. And it's going to be, you know, he's going to be dangerous. Like, he's going to be slinging it a lot more freely. I think you're just going to see him at the top of his game. So
I think he's going to have the best game of his career.
I do. I think he's
dialed in.
And that's what I mean. I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of the times the Rams have lost this year, they've not necessarily given up that much in rushing yardage. It's been through the air where the damage has been done. You know, you negate Aaron Donald, get the balls out quick, throw them, screens, bully them. We're perfectly equipped to do that sort of stuff. But he's taking deep shots as well. We're just throwing bombs all over the Vikings secondary the other day. And this Rams secondary is not much better. Exactly. You know, he can do it. Like, even go back to last year against Buffalo. He shredded Buffalo on Thanksgiving last year. Like, he shredded their secondary. People like he's never going to throw on them, and he's got it in his arsenal. So I think
disrespect. You know, and this is what I say here too, because remember when Stafford was here, Stafford didn't get no accolades. He would get disrespect. He goes to the Rams, and now he's the greatest quarterback in the world, Pro Bowl. It's the same thing with Jared Goff. Folks, we got to stop this narrative that the media is leaking that he is a garbage quarterback. He is not a garbage quarterback. Go to ESPN, look at the stats. He's top 5 in everything right now. I don't care if it's a system quarterback. I don't care if he's got a great offensive line. He's working the system great. Like, what do you want him to do? Not work the system great? Heck no. He's doing what he's given his task, and he's doing it at high levels. Does he have bad games here and there? Yeah, so does every quarterback in the National Football League have bad games. Lamar has a bad game. He's probably going to be MVP.
I mean, half the league would kill for Goff right now. Like, you look at some of the quarterback situations knocking round, and
over 20, I'd say, yeah.
Rookies not performing, vets not performing, injuries. They'd all take him right now. He's got the opportunity to be the first quarterback to win a Lions playoff game in, like, since most of us were born. Like, that's where he's at. And he came to a team that was the worst in the NFL. That is what he inherited, and he survived. A lot of quarterbacks would have been killed off in year one, and that first half of last year, those first 18 months would have broken many quarterbacks to the point they wouldn't have returned. And we've seen it around the NFL. Quarterbacks in bad situations who've been broken, like Sam Howell has been broken by the ineptitude of the Commanders, and he's come through it all, and he's still here. So he's our guy for now. Let's roll with him, and then we'll sort the contract out in the off season, or we'll sort the future in the off season. But for now, we need to be together on this. Like, let's stop arguing. No arguing about Stafford. No arguing about whether Dan should have rested his starters or whatever. The entire country wants this team to lose so they can laugh at it, so they can mock it, so that they can just carry on. Same old Lions. They'll come out the woodwork. We'll get all this sort of stuff. We need to rally together against this and just all be one, and then just be a big middle finger to everybody on Sunday when we absolutely wreck the Rams. Past is dead. Future's now.
If you're a Stafford fan, you boo him on Sunday, okay?
I've got his jersey in the other room.
I got his jersey too. I don't hate Stafford.
And I will cry when he retires. I will, but this week,
boo him. You boo him. And you're loud when the defense is out there, our Lions defense is out there. You need to be as loud as humanly possible. This is about the team, the Detroit Lions. This is not about one player. We need this team to win. J-Mo, should we see J-Mo returning kicks and punts since Raymond's out? Yeah, why not? This is the playoffs. Like, we're not saving people, in my opinion. We're going to put the best out there. And if he can do it, I don't know how much practice he has had, but if he is able to do it, and he's did it at Alabama, why not? Ant-Man, you may disagree with me, but that's my perspective.
I'd mix it up because Jameer returned kicks at Alabama as well. Jameer was one of the best kick returners, in college football. So I'd use Jameer. I'd use J-Mo. I'd mix it up on special teams a little bit. Our special teams played out of this world the other day. Like Raymond made some really good runs, but that's because they're blocking well as well, and they're giving them the opportunities to do it. So it's playoff time. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. J-Mo can create something out of nothing. Jameer can create something out of nothing. Even if it is on special teams, get the ball in their hands and you never know what's going to happen. So I'm 100% behind it. Like, give them the ball. See what they can do. Mix it up. See who... Because someone, like Raymond the other day, Raymond got his eye in on returns. And when they get their eye in, like, you roll with the hot hand. So keep trying until you find the guy who's going.
You really think if we boo Stafford, that gives him extra motivation?
Stafford knows this fan base.
Stafford knows this fan base.
They traveled cross country to watch him in playoff games for another team. He had a movement created on him in the city. He knows that it's just business when it comes to the NFL. Yeah. He knows how much it means to this team. Like, again, first home playoff game in 30 years. Some people have waited like their entire lives. They're adults with kids and all this, and have not seen anything like this. Of course, they're going to be fiercely defensive about their team and against anyone who's going to come in and try and take that away from them, which is what Matt is trying to do. He's trying to take away this moment from us because it's his job. So, of course, we're going to go out there and we're going to boo him on the day. We're going to be hostile in that, in the friendly sense, in a sporting sense, we will be hostile because that's what we need to be. This crowd needs to be venomous. It needs to impact the game for us, like it did against the Vikings. 100%. But it's all business.
All business. You want it after the Lions win? You want to go up there and get an autograph with Stafford? Go ahead. You want to cheer him up? You want to say hi? Go ahead. And by the way, if you go to the game early, you get there a couple hours early, you can meet the players. I did that when Stafford was a Lion. Got the autograph, talked to him for a minute. So if you're one of those guys, just go to the game early. Have a chat with him, and he'll come right up to you. He will do that. The players do that unless they're listening to their headphones and they're just stretching or something. But they'll come up to you, just an FYI. But when the game is playing, and if you're a Stafford fan, you go up to him, hey, man, love you, but when the game is playing, I'm going to boo you. And he'll probably say, get it. Totally get it. Guarantee you he'll say that. That's the way it needs to be. You're not a fan of Stafford while this game's taking place, man. We need all Lions fans on board. Do not be loud when the Lions are on offense. Be quiet when Lions are out. When the defense is out there, I want vocal cords broken. Like I want it to be loud, man. It's the first playoff game at Ford Field. Be loud. Be mean. Let's go, man. Be a mean team and show it. They show a Stafford tribute video. I will vomit. Can't do that. We can't.
They won't do that.
Don't do this, man. This is not a tribute. Okay, we will do that when he retires a Detroit Lion. Do a tribute video.
They come to Ford Field next year in the regular season. Do it then.
Regular season. Yep.
Do it in the regular season. Show a video beforehand, preferably of us kicking their ass in the wild card game.
Retire too.
Yeah,
I can see it.
We can show a video montage of us kicking their ass in the playoffs while he comes here, but do it next year. He's here again next year if he stays. So it's not like this is going to be the last opportunity to do anything for him.
I hope Goff tackles Stafford some crazy. No, I'm sure they're friends. They don't have no beef. They're both very professional people, and it's not Stafford's fault or Goff's fault for the trade. Goff, I guarantee he holds no animosity towards Stafford. Zero. Again, they're not the one in charge of the trade. He requested a trade, but it's not like he said, "Hey, I want Jared Goff gone." He just knew if he went there that they would trade him. But I mean, there's no animosity here. You think he retires a Lion? Yeah, I do. That's where he's drafted, man. He's here 12 years. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl for LA, but he'll retire a Detroit Lion.
If he wins the second one, I would be nervous that he wouldn't. Because if you win 2 Super Bowls somewhere, then that's kind of a really big deal. But it should be.
Joe Stafford pick sixes. This tribute video, bunch of pick sixes.
In fairness, I actually
wouldn't
mind. I wouldn't wind him up. Like, if they start doing that to him, then he could just turn around and go, right, well, I've got a point to prove now. So,
yeah, that would be funny after the fact. Do that after the fact.
He has a lot to prove. Everyone said he can't win a playoff game in Detroit. Well, now's his opportunity to fix that narrative. And for him personally, it's a big thing.
Oh, yeah,
It's big.
He wants to win. To make no mistake about it. He's motivation to win.
He'll smile and be happy, but the second that game happens, like with us, he will we're his enemy, and everything about Detroit is his enemy during the game.
Do you think deep down inside, even if they lost the game, he'd be happy for the Lions? I think he would be. I think he would be. Even if they lost, he would be happy for the city of Detroit.
Oh God, yeah, I think he would, and I think after the game, show him all the love in the world. He'll probably cheer on the Lions too, for the Super Bowl. Just like Justin Jefferson, that came out as interesting to me. He's cheering the Lions on the rest of the way. Says I got a bunch of friends in the Lions team. Go Lions! I was like, no way, for real. Justin Jefferson, so he's cheering on Detroit. And then you got obviously EQ from Equanimeous St. Brown. He'll be at the games cheering on for the Lions too. He's a free agent, FYI. And Amon Ra keeps saying, "How about come to Detroit?" How'd it come to Detroit? So that'd be interesting if they actually got him. Maybe sixth receiver. I know. But, I mean, I'd like to bring Donovan Peoples-Jones back on a cheap deal and Josh Reynolds on a cheap. I'd like to kind of keep the band back together with the offense. Not going to lie. They're all really good. Yeah.
But, maybe he wants to battle it out for training camp. Come on down. I don't think he would win it. But, hey, more people become Lions fans. I want all players. All free agents want to come to Detroit. Everyone come to Detroit. Stafford will have no playoff wins in Detroit after this weekend. I hope so. I definitely hope so. I think the Lions do win this game for sure. Key to the Lions winning is #smash the hole. Absolutely. You got to run the football. Jahmyr Gibbs' last 2 games hasn't done well. I want to see him do well in this game, man.
I wouldn't say it's not that he's done. Again, sort of what I mentioned earlier, we've got so many dynamic guys on offense that, everybody has their game. And when they have their game, you ride with them. Like Amon Ra. Amon Ra owns Minnesota like Jefferson owns us. Every time he plays Minnesota, he cooks that secondary like a fine steak every single time. So you just keep throwing him the ball and feeding it. Given all the punt returns and everything on the day, we had real good field position. We didn't really have a need to run the ball, because we had favorable field position and we're able to air it out. So I'm not really fussed that the yardage hasn't been there, because I know one day when the receivers aren't doing it, Jahmyr will pick up the slack and do it. And then if Jahmyr doesn't do it, Monty will do it. And if Amon Ra doesn't do it, J-Mo will do it. That's what I mean. I think this system is almost designed that guys can not have a day off, but it doesn't have to be all them for a game. Like last Sunday didn't have to be Jahmyr.
Oh, it didn't have to be.
No, we didn't need it to be Jameer. So it's not that he's done bad and he's not got many yards. It's just that on this particular day, we don't really need him. Other guys are doing it. So, I mean, this week I would expect it to be a factor. You've got to play bully ball against the Rams. Stop Donald from pass rushing. And we've seen that Penei can deal with him in the run game. We've seen that he'll give him jip and that he'll give him problems. So play bully ball and you'll nullify the Rams. That's how they do it. They play bully ball as well. So,
Tyler, if that's what people say, I could care less. I just want to win. I would love for Stafford to throw 7 picks in this game. I want his worst game ever.
I mean, Mike Tirico's calling the game, so there's going to be an asterisk next to it, whatever we do. Like, I mean, he will find an asterisk for us.
Hey, if LaPorta doesn't play, they're going to say it's an asterisk? No.
Yeah, for the Rams. Yeah, didn't have to face Sam Lagota. But no, it would be like, oh no, they just destroyed them. I mean, it'll be summer. It'll be the moon will be in the wrong position in the sky or something like that, or
somebody dropped a fire hydrant in hell and cooled it down. Something here, tarot cards out there.
The thing is, this team earns everything it has. There's no asterisks here. It's earned. Like, you go out there and you earn it. Chiefs have lost 6 games this year. Nothing to do with Kelsey and Jones. It's just they're not the domineering force people think they are, and teams are better than them, and we are better than them. Like, we showed that we were better than them. So there's no asterisks here. This team doesn't do asterisks. This team works hard and earns everything it gets.
You think Aiden Hutchinson sacks Matt Stafford and takes him out of the game? Sacks, yes. Take him out of the game. It's going to be tough. We know Stafford's a tough SOB, and this is a playoff game. But look, if he hurts his back or something, he could be out. He is pretty fragile. But yes, sacks, yes. I don't know about taking out of the game. I'll probably say no on that one.
I mean, Hutch is in the form of his life right now. Like 5 sacks in the last 2 games. He's going mental. And, like all the great passers, when they get the eye in and they will just have a run of form and you're just like, wow, you just can't do anything. Like, he was beating tight ends straight up. He was beating guards right up from the interior. He was lining up everywhere and just having his way with people. And he will find a weakness in the offensive line for the Rams. He'll find the matchup that he wants and he'll make plays with it. But this is what the elite rushers do. When they're in form, they find ways to do it. And Hutch has hit form at the exact right time. They say the Vikings could not deal with him. He blew up the trick play with Jefferson. He sacked Mullins 3 times. Should have been 4 sacks on the day. He's making tackles everywhere. That motor's just never ending. And it helps that the rest of the D-line's contributing as well. Like, he's getting more one-on-ones. He's getting more looks. So I expect him to be big this week. This will be his crowning game, because a lot of people still say he's not had that performance. That one where everybody stands up and takes notice and is like, oh my God, he's one of the best going. This will be it. Like, this will be his crowning performance.
Yeah, he does hate pressure up the middle, and Aleem McNeil is going to take advantage of that, who is going to be playing this game, obviously. He played last week. Again, I have the Lions winning this game. Ant-Man, thoughts before we close this bad boy down?
Hey, let's all come together. Let's all support one another, and let's just go out and prove the entire world wrong this week. Because, as I say, they're waiting for us to fail. But with brand new Lions, we don't fail no more. We're going to go out there this weekend. We're going to smash the Rams, and then let's see what happens. We can make a deep run into the playoffs. It's all open for us.
It's all open for us, folks. With that said, folks, see you on Sunday. Adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And all the doubters, they're just downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.